Hi, Neely Nathan. I'm here at the school, Chefs Inc. It's a culinary school. And with me is Chef AJ.
Hello. Hi.
She is a vegan and raw food chef.
And culinary instructor.
That's right. And you're going to be showing us some delicious desserts today in this series of healthy dessert cooking. What's the first thing you're going to make?
We are going to make a delicious vegan chocolate cake. It has no eggs, no dairy, no butter, no cream, and hence no cholesterol. And
no sugar?
This one recipe is going to use organic sugar.
Okay.
But this will be the only one because this is like a special occasion cake, and there's just sometimes you just got to go a little bit with the sugar.
Sounds great. Let's
Thank
get
you.
started.
Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do is mix my dry ingredients together. I'm going to take 3 cups of organic unbleached flour. You want to make sure it's unbleached. You don't want all those chemicals in there to, what do you need it white for anyway? Because it's going to be a chocolate cake, So all the ingredients, by the way, you can get at any local health food store that we're using. They're really not hard to find. So we're going to have 3 cups of this organic unbleached white flour. Unfortunately, you can't just substitute wheat flour in a recipe. You can, but it's not going to be cup for cup, just so you know.
Okay. And this next thing is
the sugar, 2 cups.
Regular?
It is regular sugar, but it's just made from the sugar cane.
Okay, that's good.
It's just the natural sugar cane that is cut and dried, so there's no preservatives or additives. So I've got my dry ingredients going on here. The most important one for the chocolate cake is I have an organic cocoa powder, fair trade.
Okay, that's unsweetened.
Yes, it is unsweetened cocoa powder, and I'm going to use a half a cup of that.
It smells good.
It does smell good. And you can actually, I've been experimenting a lot with just the raw cocoa nibs, and you can use that in a recipe.
I've used them too.
They're delicious.
I put them in the Vitamix to make smoothies.
Aren't they great?
Right.
And they're so fun, and they're so chocolatey, and they're so natural. And if somebody could not have chocolate for whatever reason, you could use carob powder in a cake like this. You can substitute. So I've got my dry ingredients going on here, but I need some baking soda. Oops, let's just open that up. Most people have a box of this somewhere in their house. Always make sure it's fresh, though. You have to look at the expiration. 2 teaspoons of this. And a teaspoon of sea salt. I always recommend sea salt. It's the best tasting.
You're using Celtic sea salt.
Yeah, I like the brand, but any sea salt would be fine. Okay. It doesn't have to be the...
Celtic is a little healthier.
It is.
It has over 50 minerals and
it actually, and Himalayan sea salt is another good one, but what I like about it is it actually just tastes good.
It does. It's not processed. It's
just
great.
It's just from the sea, and it's dried, and there's so many choices when it comes to sea salt. So I've got my dry ingredients. In another bowl separately, I want my wet ingredients. I've already measured out 2 cups of water.
You use probably good purified
water. Yes, filtered water.
Me too.
Right? Never put anything in your cake that you wouldn't put in your own body.
That's true.
And I'm going to measure out 3/4 of a cup of oil. Now I am using, because this is a dessert, I'm using a walnut oil. I love the flavor of nut oils, macadamia, almond oil. But you know what? In a pinch, I have used olive oil. It's worked fine. Okay. You can even substitute applesauce if you're worried about, the fat content. But again, this is a special dessert. And then a whole tablespoon of a pure vanilla extract. I recommend the kind without the alcohol. I just think it tastes better. That's just my opinion. Never get imitation vanilla extract. It's a sulfite. It's made, it's really, really bad for you. So I've got my wet ingredients here, my dry ingredients here. And I don't even need a mixer, a mix master, a KitchenAid. All I'm going to do is by hand, the way Grandma did, is mix my wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. It's really easy, and I'm just going to stir it. I probably should have had a little bit bigger bowl, but I wanted it to be clear so you could see it. No eggs to crack, no salmonella or E. coli in here. So just using good old-fashioned elbow grease. And you know what? If somebody had a hand mixer and wanted to do it that way, they certainly could. But, anytime I'm going to be eating this cake, and if I can burn an extra 10 calories by doing it by hand, I'm going to do it by hand. I also like to do it this way to show that you really don't need every fancy... they're wonderful, those all the fancy kitchen items, but you still can make a delicious cake just with what you probably have on your shelf. So we're just going to stir that. I don't want to stir it too fast because I do, this bowl is probably a little too small, but really just till all the lumps are gone and it's fully incorporated. And you probably are thinking to yourself, well, how's this cake going to rise? There's no eggs. How's it going to taste? Well, for some reason, when you mix apple cider vinegar, which I forgot, but I'm remembering now, 2 tablespoons, with the baking soda, you see that little fizzing right there?
Yes.
it's like little bubbles, like when you were in chemistry class.
Okay.
I'm glad I remembered that. It causes some kind of reaction with the baking soda.
And it makes it rise.
Little bubbles now.
Wow.
And it just makes it rise. I don't know how. And this recipe was developed before the word vegan was even a word, because I guess in the old days, or maybe during the Depression, eggs were scarce and certain things were scarce, and people actually had to figure out how to make things without the things that we consider standard. And so, you know, obviously if it's a souffle, you might want to have an egg, but for a cake, it's really not necessary.
So next what we're going to do is spray the pan and pour the batter, so stay with us. Hi, I'm back with AJ, and she's just mixed the batter, and now you're about to pour it into the batter.
Right, but first I want to spray it with a non-stick spray so it won't stick. And you can find this in any store, or you can do it the old-fashioned way, grease and then flour the pan. This is just really easy. Just want every last drop to come out. So make sure you pour it evenly so you have 2 layers that are even. Chocolate heaven.
Now, is it okay to lick this spoon?
Yeah, it absolutely is, because remember, we're not using any eggs, so there's no salmonella risk or anything like that. I hope the batter tastes good, because,
Oh, that does.
well,
Very
good. Thank you. Okay.
Yummy, yummy.
Yep. Never supposed to do that. Always tap, tap, tap. You see those little air bubbles?
Okay.
Tap, tap, tap. Get rid of those little air bubbles. I've already preheated my oven to 350. I'm going to put them on the center shelf.
How long does that take?
It takes about 40 minutes, but it's always a good idea to check it 5 minutes sooner, or when a toothpick is inserted in the center and it comes out clean.
Hi, Neely Nathan and Chef AJ on behalf of Expert Village. The next step here is to...
Right, I told you to bake it at 350 for 40 minutes, but it's always a good idea to check it at about 30, 35, because everybody's oven is calibrated a bit different. I'm going to take a toothpick or a skewer, insert it in the center of the cake. It came out clean. Just going to do it in the other one just to make sure. Clean. So I'm going to take it out, put it on a rack for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to take it out of the pan. Well, I've cooled them on the rack for 10 minutes, and I'm going to invert them. Oh, this is why I love nonstick cooking spray.
Great.
Yeah, make sure you use pot holders. You don't want to have a burn. Whoops. Of course, nothing soothes a burn like a homemade chocolate cake, right?
That's right.
Look at that, beautiful. And we're going to let these cool even a little bit longer, and then we're going to fill them and frost them.
Hey, Neely Nathan and Chef AJ, and we're just about to make, what are we making?
Well,
AJ?
we're going to make a glaze, which is very similar to a frosting, a delicious, rich, fudgy chocolate glaze for the chocolate cake that we made in another episode. And I'm going to take 12 ounces of a non-dairy chocolate chips, and you can use any good quality chocolate, 12 ounces, which is about 2 cups. It's just so easy to use chips. I'm going to put it in a saucepan over low heat. Very low heat. You can also do this over a double boiler. We just don't have one today. I'm melting it, and I'm going to put in it 3 tablespoons of agave nectar. That's what's going to make it shiny. People that eat unhealthy, you would use probably corn syrup, but we're going to use agave.
Okay.
And we're going to use 6 tablespoons of a non-hydrogenated margarine, which is called Earth Balance. Stir constantly and carefully. Never walk away from chocolate, because you don't want to scorch it. If it does, if you smell that burning smell, it will taste terrible. But this will take about a second to make. After I take it away from the heat, I'm going to add a tablespoon of a pure vanilla extract. Stir it in, and I'm going to let that cool just a little bit, and then I'm going to frost my cake. This chocolate glaze we're making for our cake, let's say you didn't have a cake at home, well, what you could do is take some fresh fruit, bananas, a strawberry, dip it in.
Like a fondue?
You could do it like a fondue, or you could put it on a piece of wax paper, chill it, and you have a chocolate-covered strawberry.
Hi, Neely Nathan and Chef AJ. On behalf of Expert Village, you're watching the Healthy Cooking Series, the special Healthy Cooking with Desserts. We are in Los Angeles at Chef's Inc. Cooking School, and the next thing we're going to do with this chocolate cake is...
Right, we made this cake with no eggs, with no butter. We've cooled it completely. We're going to put 1 layer on a plate. Nice, make it a pretty plate. Now this is the non-dairy chocolate mousse that we made earlier out of tofu. We gave it a time to chill. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill the cake. Now this chocolate mousse is a dessert unto itself, as you have tasted before. Just delicious on its own, dipped with fruit. But we're going to fill the cake with it. I mean, we're going to make it a triple chocolate cake as decadent as we can. So this is just going to be the middle layer. Try to get it even. It's okay if it spills. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. If it spills over to the edges a little, we will fix it with the glaze. So pile that on as evenly as you can. And that's why it's important to chill it, because if it wasn't firm, it's going to kind of fall all over.
It looks really good.
So we do that, and then we take the second layer on top, and we have filled our cake.
Neely Nathan and Chef AJ on behalf of Expert Village. Well, we're wrapping up this healthy dessert episode with,
Extravaganza.
yes, with this beautiful chocolate cake that we're about to slice.
Triple chocolate cake.
So you put it in the refrigerator for how long?
Well, I did only because you don't have to do that, but for the sake of time here to try to get defrosted, I think I did it for about 10 minutes in the freezer.
Okay, before you slice it.
Yeah, before you slice it.
Look at
And because
that.
it's made, oh, you know what I like to do is the raspberry coulis we made earlier, I like to plate the plate.
Nice.
I like it on the plate. First piece is always the hardest.
Oh, that's so
I think it could have
yummy.
chilled a little bit more, but you know, at home they'll have more time.
That's okay. What's a little chill here and there between friends?
Vegan, cholesterol-free, egg-free, dairy-free,
Wow.
no butter. Isn't that good?
Fantastic.
A little colder would be nice, but makes a great birthday cake.
Delicious.
Put some
Thank you, AJ,
You're welcome.
so much.
Thank
I really
you.
enjoyed
Thank
this.
you.